Yesterday, I increased my salary by 7.7% with one simple email, with one psychological trick. And in this video, I'm going to tell you the context behind it, the actual psychological principle, and the email I ended up sending so that you can do it too. And if we haven't met before, hi. My name is Duncan, Alderdice, and in this series, I make short videos in the morning as I walk and talk through the thoughts I'm having as I try to put my life back together again. So this is less of a tutorial step-by-step of what's going on. It's more just me documenting the process. So welcome on for the ride. If you're just here for the principle, I'm sure I'll put YouTube chapters in the description. So, okay, let's get some context in this. She's not. Okay, so I have been looking for a job since March, maybe early April, late April. It keeps changing. It doesn't matter. It's been 3-4-ish months, and it's all culminating to this one point. This one point, what has kind of happened in the past week is I have been waiting on one job, the one job that I've actually been really wanting. I've met the founder. It was great. I see myself working at the company. It seems like a good growth opportunity, and see myself doing well, being able to apply my skills and having a cool, fun time. There was another thing going on that just happened as of late, that a job came in last minute. They made an offer, and it's been a bureaucratic craziness of like what they initially offered was something, but then when they switched it to Canadian, it was like way lower. They had to go along with that. But then my guy comes in, because I had followed up with him actually last week, because he said he was going to get back to me with something, and said, hey, I still need time, and there's other things moving on, and he's also on vacation, so can't blame him. But Monday, I sent him a message on LinkedIn saying, hey, I know you said you're going to get to me either today or in the next few days. Just wanted to be transparent with you, saying that I have been made another offer with another company. Though I won't be making any final decision until I hear from you officially. But just wanted to keep you in the loop. Looking forward to hearing from you. And I did that strategically, one, because I wanted to get an answer from him, but also because it had been a couple weeks since we spoke before, where he gave like an informal, yes, we're going to send you an offer. And so I wanted to kind of communicate, hey, one, like I'm wanted elsewhere. So there's some value to me. And two, like I haven't just been sitting on my hands for these past 2 weeks. Like I've been doing stuff. But while at the same time not communicating, like, oh, I'm trying to go, I'm wanted so many other places. Like the message was like, hey, I want to work for you, but you haven't sent me anything. Someone else has asked me to the dance. So like, are you gonna ask me? Okay. So that was good, because then it also helped with the leverage when yesterday he sent an email with an official offer. It wasn't a contract, but it was an official, hey, would like at the top being like, hey, I'm excited to say that I would like to extend an offer your way. Now, we're going to get specific with numbers because I don't like dealing in the abstract, and I don't think this will go viral enough for me to worry about that as well as it's better that it's more real. I don't know. There's a million thoughts I've had about that. But when I initially interviewed for the company, the target for the base that I was looking for, like the number I had in mind, was somewhere between 60 and 70. And I told him that. So he came back yesterday. Also just because the other job that said that it wanted to get me was actually above that range. And then when I said, just confirming that this is the US, or like I'm a Canadian, just confirming that this is just a direct exchange, then it came way below that range. So anyways, back to the main point. Where was the main point? I forget where the main point, where it was. Where was the main point? Looking for it. Is it right there? It's not right there. Is it right there? No, that's a dragonfly. He came back with an offer. And this has been like a long time of getting to the final round of like 2 companies that I thought I was going to go for, and then they didn't, and then just not hearing back from people, just being ghosted, there's lots of stuff going on. And he's like, would love to send you an offer. I can do 65. And it was like, okay, awesome. That is like middle of the range. I was also really happy to see it. Like I felt excited for that. And that was something that I went, okay, that is doable. I'd say it's more the floor of what I'm looking for, but it's in that pool. And then so like I'm speaking with my parents, because they're like the career counselor people I have of like what's the next move here, what should I do? And both of them are more on the line of like, okay, just you're gonna accept it, right? Like you've been doing this, like now you say yes, that's the thing. And I'm thinking, it's like, yes, I do want to work for him, but like mentally I've been getting attached to this number that starts with a 7. Like I think I can get more. And why do I want more? Because there's a lot of reflection on that. Do I want more just because I just wanted to say that I got more? Am I just trying to squeeze the most out? And I went, well, no, psychologically, like I've budgeted out after tax with the expenses, debt to pay off, and like what rent would kind of look like, what my number would be. And I can say that the difference between 65 and 70 adds just a little, okay. Like at the higher number, I can feel more comfortable knowing I don't have to think about do math when I do groceries. And I fucking eat a lot, so that's a factor. And even more still is because then I'm thinking, well, I guess we can get into this later. But because I was thinking after the fact, because it ended up working was, should I have gone for more? And it's like, yeah, but the difference between an extra, like an additional 7.7% isn't like, there's no reason for me to want that other than just saying the higher number. And also because it's a sales position, I can just negotiate to get more by selling the product. So he comes back with that. And I've read a bunch of different sort of sales training books and negotiation tactics. Most notably for this circumstance would be Chris Voss's Never Split the Difference. And so that's where I'm going like, do I have to implement the Ackerman method? And the Ackerman method is just a series of negotiations where it's like, if whatever the price you're willing to buy it for, let's say it's 100, you first counter with an extreme anchor at like 65% of that, then you bump that up to 75%, then up to 90, then 95%, and then you say the final number with an odd number at the end. It's a whole tactic that it makes it seem like they really squeeze the most out of you, even though you anchored them to a number. And so I'm going, okay, well, if the target I'm getting after is 70, do I have to then say like something like I want 85 to 90, like just it's something really high, and then he's going to come back and counter, and it's like, two things is I'm not just buying something. It's not a piece of real estate, but there will be an ongoing professional relationship from this. And so I don't want to start it off on the foot of, I was really difficult to get on the team, And then the last thing is, I know I was dealing with the founder. So this isn't an HR process that I'm not dealing with a human being, but a system, and therefore need to play the rules to the system. But I can just talk straight. And so I decided, no, we're not going to play some games of like trying to anchor high. We're just going to not counter, but counter with the number that we're looking for, because that is true. That's defensible in terms of what it is that you're thinking. And it was a number that when I thought about it earlier was like, if that was what I got, I would be so happy to work there. Like it would just be so thrilled. I don't know if that's possible. Turns out it is. So now we're going to discuss the psychological principle behind what I did. Is rather than going with an extreme anchor and I learned this from Robert Cialdini's book called Influence, in which he kind of discusses how loss or loss aversion is a more powerful motivator in terms of decision making for humans than any gain you could get. That's why you see advertisements all the time, rather than going like, I don't know, like these leaves are amazing, get them. It's more like, don't miss out on this amazing deal. Like instituting, like, don't miss out or you're going to lose something. Okay. The story in Robert Cialdini's book is he talks about a lawyer that he worked with, a divorce attorney that he worked with and kind of gave advice for. And this one guy said to him, is like, Dr. Robert Cialdini, I talk to you, I call you by your prefix and first and last name whenever I just speak to you. I tried this one technique you taught me, and it works every single time. I cannot say without a doubt every single time. And Dr. Cialdini goes like, well, in the book, I doubt that it worked every single time, but it's happy to hear that he has had success. Now, what does he do? Generally, sometimes there's a point when there's a divorce settlement occurring. Both parties, the ex-wife and ex-husband, don't talk to one another. They're speaking to each other through an intermediary, which is what that divorce attorney does. And sometimes they're trying to find the point of the divorce attorney is to find a way for them to settle on something. And oftentimes people in those situations don't really care about what they're getting in as much as they care that the other person doesn't get what they want or whatever. Besides the point, so the trick that the guy would do is when they're near the end, he would walk into the room that had the ex-husband and be like, your ex-wife has agreed to this, all you have to do is sign. And the ex-husband would sign. And the same thing to the ex-wife is he'd be, okay, your ex-husband has agreed to this, all you have to do is sign. Cool. And then that would, even if the other person hadn't occurred. And so what essentially he was doing was, I'm going to stay in here because I'm feeling this section of the woods. Or should we go down the path? That's going to make me think more. I agree, Mr. Chipmunk. I think, not Chipmunk, that sounds more squirrely. Why it worked was because he came in and gave them and said, here you are, we have a deal. So they acquired something and then threatened to take it away unless they acted. So going like, we have a deal, but all you have to do is this. So if you don't do that, then you're going to lose the thing you just had in instituting that sort of loss aversion style thing. And I liked the way that this was, is rather than also going with maybe more of a no-oriented question of like, would something like 70 be completely off the table or completely unreasonable? Then you can say no. It's like no, let's use this loss aversion principle and speak assumptively and communicate excitement, acting as though this is such an easy thing for you to do. There's nothing of it. I'm behaving as though I already have the job because I do. Because also the thing is, up until this point, I've been trying to communicate to him and convince him that I should be on the team. Now he's played his hand of going like, I want you. So now it's his job to get me. So we know at the very least he wants me. So then, and I'll read the email out because I'm very proud of it. But so, okay, hold on. I should have had this prepared, so we're just gonna make sounds like we're stressed. Okay, so we got it. So he says just like kind of standard email with the number. And so then I say, hi, person's name. Hi, CEO founder. This is a generous offer and I'd love to accept. Right there. So acknowledging it, there's a bit of an accusation on it, going like, hey, it's a generous offer. I'm not saying that you're trying to lowball me. I'd love to accept. If we can get the 65 to a 70, I'll sign the contract as soon as you send it over, celebrate joining the team, and then start counting down the days until the 3rd. Again, going like, I just slipped it in right there. Just being like, hey, if you can get, like, the thing too is I did not say if we can increase, if we can change. Just there's a technical word for it, but non-committal language, you don't see it. You don't go like, oh, there's an increase. Ooh, it's just like, if we can get this to that, if we can change this A to a Z, if we can just blah, 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 whatever it is. Super slick businessman making negotiations all the time, which is what I am. And then said, as a side note, if you could send along the benefits and vacation details, just so I know what that looks like, which was just kind of a transition into something non-financial and also not something that I really needed to see because I don't really care what the vacation is. I'm assuming you have some form other than zero. And that is just what I want to confirm, but it's not changing any decision in the email. And then last thing, saying, let's bring company name to the moon with a rocket ship emoji to kind of end on a note. And I'm so fucking happy about, like, it just, then he came back, it was maybe a half hour later and said, hi, Duncan. Okay, I can commit to the 70. And then said a bunch of other stuff. We'll send a contract when I get back into the office. Excellent. I was so thrilled because it was like, yes, because that was the 7.7% increase from what it was. And I didn't just accept the first offer on the table, and I didn't have to feel guilty about doing that because it is in a sales position and there kind of is an unspoken assumption that the initial, like, you're going to negotiate to some degree. It's like, show me off your skills. Like, what do you want? And then because he accepted so quickly, I went, ooh, maybe I could have gotten more. Possibly. Like, I probably maybe could have added another 5 onto it. But then the thing all around that is, did I want that? And is it impossible for me to get later? And the answer to the first one is no. And the answer to the second question also is no. So it's like the I know myself in that I have enough drive and enough drive, like unlimited drive, that what I need to do well in a sales position or just in general is I need security, not comfort. But I need to know this platform I'm standing on is solid before I'm willing and comfortable taking a leap. You know, like, if the platform is shaky, that's not the motivation I need to jump. Like, I'm looking to jump. I'm the guy who like does jumps, but I want to know that this foundation is steady. And so if I can eliminate from my head any sort of financial stress and like that leaves plenty of room. There's other like credit card stuff I've done in the past that I'm still kind of paying for, which arguably is still my own fault. But again, it's something that I'm thinking about, that if I can just check that out of my mind, I'm no longer needing the sale when I'm speaking to a prospect, but I'm just having a conversation with someone to discover whether or not they have the problem that they need and ultimately facilitate their decision in doing something that will benefit them for the long term and foreseeable future, which is what will have more success with it. And so that's why. And anything in addition to that, I feel no emotional difference internally of like oh, thank God there's that. It just is. It's that. And then also, because it's not a salary sort of thing that you only get one chance a year to kind of increase, and so you need to squeeze as much out from the interaction as possible, I don't need the most to get from that. And also, I think that if he feels he got me, he was willing to go higher, but then got me for less, then he feels that there's a win on his side, which also, if both parties walk away with a win, not that you want to walk away with a win-win, but the worst ending to a negotiation is where both sides have made concessions such that they're kind of unhappy with what they've gotten. That's why Chris Voss, I know, is like, never split the difference. Like, you don't want to be like, I want this number, you want that number. Okay, well, let's meet halfway. Then both sides don't get what they want. Like, that's not what it is. And I don't know, I felt slick about it because it was cool. It leaves a good taste in the person's body. What? It was just a good feeling, I think. Because I think the thing I didn't want to communicate was I'm ungrateful, is that you're lowballing me, or that I'm just trying to squeeze as much out of you as possible. It's going like, this is the number. If we can change it to that, we're good. Like, I'm already mentally signing. So all you gotta do is dot that I, cross that T, get those ducks right there in a fucking row. and we're good. So we're laughing. So this is the first domino to fall. So we're happy with this. That was a long time. How long is that? About 20 minutes. We talked to fucking, if you're still here, fucking comment down below and be like, I'm a duck that needs growing. And I will reply to your comment with, you are the duck. You're not a duck, you are the duck that needs growing. No, I'm just gonna say you are the duck. You're not a duck, you are the duck. Anyways, okay. So what we do now is we have something tangible to move forward, that we can start looking at apartments. We have a start date. Start date is going to be August 3rd. So that's when we will be back in Montreal. But we can start planning accordingly rather than hypothetically. And I'm feeling happy, excited. And I think there's a sense of pride in being able to apply a skill that I have learned. Because it's like, now it's no longer theoretical. It's like, I fucking know shit. Like, I can do stuff and have receipts for it. And like, I guess like if someone watches this to this point and is thinking like, well, you didn't get enough. It's like, you know what? I probably could have got more. You're absolutely right. I'll allow you to think that. But what I can say without a shadow of a doubt is I did send that email, and what did happen was a 7.7% increase. And so like, maybe someone can say that all of this is made up and you're lying. It's like, you also can say that. But I think it's just more mentally for myself. No one can take away from me my belief and understanding of what happened did happen. And that is the source of power and confidence and conviction that really matters. Like, I know if someone else doubts, it doesn't, like, their doubt doesn't affect me because I have absolute belief and conviction in it. And so the mental strength isn't like, I don't care about you. It's just, no, it's just there's the space for evaluation in my own abilities is entirely encompassed or consumed by my own perception and memory, which is that I did that thing I said I did. And so, I don't know, there's strength and power in it. I want to run a marathon. I wonder if I could. I don't think I could. Like, just like right now, run a marathon. I'd probably be walking for a lot of it. No, I'd get dehydrated too. What is that? Like 26 times 1.6 is 26 times. Okay, well, how do we get to 0.6 would be 0.1 is 2.6. So 2.6 times 6 would be 2.5 times 6. So we have 415 plus. Okay, so it's going to be at least 41 kilometers. And so we're still missing 0.1 times 6, so 0.6. So 41.6 is my final answer. If I'm right, that's amazing. If I'm not, I appreciate you sticking to the end. 26 times 1.6. I'm a fucking god. It is right. I'm not a god. I just know how to do mental math. Same shit. Julius Caesar. Of course I Caesar. In any case, if you're sticking to the end, I appreciate you watching to the end. And I know you know this already, but I'll say it again. Is that desire is what drives you forward. The pain you're going through is necessary. That is why you need to believe in yourself, because you're more capable of doing great things than you give yourself credit. Lean in, aim up, and move forward. Yes, you can. Yes, you will.